guys, this is Sarah for How We Learn. Today I'm sharing with you 5 awesome crafts. We love crafts in our house and I recognize that many people don't. So I wanted to begin this video by assuring you it's totally cool if you don't like crafting with your kids. Everybody has different things that they like to do with their kids and that they don't really like to do with their kids. And it's not your job as a parent to craft with your children. If you really don't like it, that's cool, don't craft with your kids. That's my opinion anyways, as a teacher and a homeschooling mom. If it's not your thing, that's okay. Don't feel like you have to do something just because other people are doing it or because you saw something cool on Pinterest. Kind of go with your own gut and think of a few little activities that you might like to do instead, or perhaps you really love to get down on the ground and play little people with your children. We all have different ways that we connect and bond with our children. Mine is doing activities and crafts with my children. I am not a huge fan. I mean, I do play with them, like sit down and play doctor and play all the little guys and little people, but that's not my favorite. My favorite is to do crafts and activities with my kids. So today I thought I would share with you 5 of my favorite crafts to do that can be used for pretty much any holiday, or they can be easily mixed up to in 100 different ways so that they always seem fresh and new, but really it's just the same 5 crafts. So the first one is doing paper chains. So paper chains, it's so nice and easy, super mess free. You take strips of paper, your little ones can cut these up themselves, wrap them together like this, secure with a little bit of tape, thread the next one through, and then you can make paper chains. So often you make these at Christmas time with red and green ones. We like to make them as birthday countdown chains. Depending on how excited the little one is, it might be like 20 days until their birthday. So you make the chain and then cut one off each day. You can do tiny paper strips and wrap them up to make bracelets or necklaces for yourself or to give as gifts. You can even do them really tiny and make them as like little collars for stuffies or little bracelets for dolls. Lots of different ways to play with paper chains. You can add letters to them and make them alphabet. You can try to do sight words. You can add numbers and do accounting or skip counting or even math facts. Lots of different ways to play paper chains. Okay, number 2 is chalk with paper. There's just something about chalk that kids love. So I would suggest investing in colored chalk and doing it on construction paper. It just looks and feels really cool and good to draw with chalk on construction paper, and also ends up looking really neat. You can also do it, of course, on a blackboard. And the benefit is if you're using chalk on a blackboard, you have a second activity after. You can take a paintbrush with some water and kind of go and draw a new picture over top of the chalk, and it kind of erases away the chalk, and it's really fun to do that also. You can do just water on construction paper also if you're adverse to messes or your child might be really young. My little Nora just turned 2, so she's still, well, just recently actually, she's gotten out of being content to use water. Now she really wants to use the paint, but for a long while it was just water with a really wet washcloth even. We didn't even use a cup of water because I didn't want it to spill. Just a really wet washcloth, and she'd dip her paintbrush on the washcloth and paint away just water on construction paper. A third one is contact paper. It's also sometimes called shelf liner, and we have tons of rolls of them, and it's really sticky on one side and it's completely clear. So you pull the backing off and then secure it around on a tabletop with the sticky side up, and we just use painter's tape or masking tape to hold it in place. And then you can do a million things with contact paper. So it's naturally sticky, so you can put, you can make, like right now it's almost Valentine's Day, you can cut out hearts that look like construction paper, or sorry, you can cut out hearts from construction paper, stick them down on your contact paper, then have your little one rip up bits of pink and red tissue paper and stick it all over, and then you have a beautiful sun catcher. Or you can do, gosh, you can do so many things with them. You can make a tree, again, out of construction paper, and then have your little one roll up little balls of tissue paper and stick them on as the different leaves. So you can do that. You can even make a 4 seasons tree out of that. I really like using contact paper because it's great sensory. It's a great sensory activity for young children, and it's super mess free. Also, you're not messing with glue or paint or anything like that. It's just nice and easy. Number 4 that we always tend to do around here is we always have a bucket of beads and some pipe cleaners or strings to make bracelets or necklaces, and you can do so many things with this. So you can work on lots of different math facts. You can do like patterns and growing patterns. You can even do really cool codes. So you can create on a piece of paper first, if your children are older, that like the letter A is one red bead, the letter B is a pink bead, the letter C is maybe two red beads and a yellow bead. So you can make your own little alphabet code and then make bracelets and necklaces that say different family members' names, or it can be between friends and you're making like friendship bracelets that only the two of you know what the message is. So much learning that happens with that. When children are littler, it's helpful to use pipe cleaners when you're beading, because it's nice and stiff and allows them to really work on that hand dexterity, and it holds instead of using a string, which is floppy and hard to thread, it's nice and easy to thread using a pipe cleaner. Finally, and this one is messy, so if you're averse to mess, don't try this one, but this one's really fun and we like doing it. It's printmaking. So we just use our table. If you had a nice table, or if you were wanting to, you could of course put down like a plastic tablecloth first, and then you line out about 8.5 by 11, about the size of a piece of paper, with painter's tape or masking tape, just to kind of create a boundary for your child. And then they paint right on the table, so they can, when you're using paint with young children, or with anybody for that matter, I like to add in dish soap. It really helps to make the cleanup a breeze. And then they paint right on the table, and we use washable paint with a little bit of dish soap. And then they can like use a popsicle stick and make like designs or lines and practice layering the paint. But you want the paint to stay wet, and then you take your piece of paper and you smush it down on top and you peel it up and you get a print of what you made. There's lots of different ways you can do this. You can also do a paint layer first. Then you can, like in the wintertime, you can cut out snowflakes and lay down paper snowflakes over top of the paint, and then do your printmaking on top of that and peel it off. And then you have like your picture shows the background kind of the paint, and then you have these snowflakes in the foreground, and it's really cool. Lots of fun and easy ways to use printmaking like that. So those are sort of my 5 go-to crafts that we tend to do a lot for various seasons, and you'll find them all over the blog in all sorts of different activities and different capacities, but those are kind of my 5 go-to crafts. I hope they're helpful to you. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.